But either
No,
case,
we had one last time, Lori.
yeah, that was like day one or day two,
That was
whatever.
day 4. No, that
Oh,
was
day
day
four.
4. Yeah,
Oh, they
yeah,
started playing together.
yeah.
Well, either case, I mean, we're still publishing this. So if you're watching this live, hello in real time. If not, hello from a recorded history of some time in the future.
Yep.
So I'm Joe Godagno and my good friend Chris, aka Woody Woodruff. We're gonna kind of continue our squad mode. In the last video or the last stream, Woody kind of introduced us to this baseball history app that he's been working on, and we introduced squad to it, and it created a squad based on, I even forget, what was the team that you have in here?
Uh, it seems like the only team I get these days is Aliens.
Oh, okay.
So,
It's
but
probably because it
this,
goes alphabetical order, I'm guessing,
yeah,
but you
yeah,
can tell it. Other case, we have the alien theme, which is what we had for my site, as well as what we started doing on more
yep,
speakers.
yeah,
Believe where we left it off at the last stream, Woody kind of asked it to put together a game plan for the converting the site to use his open source package HTMX Razor. I
yeah.
think we
My
had a
web components. So,
yes.
so let's start this. Uh, what do I? Okay, you were talking about a few minutes ago updating Copilot. So, how do you
So
update
just do Copilot, start it up. And I
with
don't know if you
this
can do
with?
dash dash. Try dash dash upgrade or update. I don't know if that would work. See it recognizes that.
Let's see if it works.
Nope.
Nope.
Okay, that's fine. So
How about
once you're in there,
upgrade?
no, it's
Maybe it's up.
definitely update.
No.
It
Okay.
probably is just not a command line. So just start Copilot by itself without any
Uh,
options. Now do a forward slash update. There you go. Now you should be on. I think it's .31 or something like that.
cool.
3.2.
3.2.
Yep. And now you're
Okay.
good to go. So it's updated to the latest. This one has some significant things like rate limits and everything. I've been hitting rate
Okay.
limits a lot, so now it actually clears. It shows you more so. And the better thing about this version of it
Yeah.
is that it will save like the notes if
Hmm.
your agent is working on something and then
I'm
gets
gonna
rate limited.
start. I'm gonna start it back up
Well, you didn't have to
with.
do that. You can turn on those things.
I know. It's just for me. It's easier. So, okay. So I'm gonna go. Team wake up.
Yep.
But go ahead. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, that's fine. You can start up the team. So what will end
Fix
up
this up.
happening if you get rate limited, the agents kind of, for lack of a better word, die. They
Oh.
can't do anything. So now
Okay.
what ends up happening is when you get rate limited, their state is kind of saved off. So once the rate limit is over, the agent kind of picks up where it left off, which is super helpful. There's been a couple of times where I've been running on some of the other projects. I hit a rate limit and then I kind of like have to start all over again, which is silly because I mean, you could be 95% done with a bunch of token usage and then, oh, too bad, you got to start over again
Yeah.
from scratch.
You're screwed. Start.
Yep.
It's like Monopoly. Go
Yeah.
directly to
That's
jail.
been my biggest thing so far. I put a post on LinkedIn the other day about it. Is I'm no expert in this yet. I've been playing around with Copilot for I don't know, about 3 or 4 weeks now, maybe a little bit longer. And the one thing I noticed is, they're still it's still a work in progress. They're still learning,
Yeah.
and it's getting better every release of Copilot or
Yeah.
Claude or what have you. They're getting better. However, they still make a lot of mistakes. Like I got really angry at my squad the other day because I put up a bunch of directives. We talked about this, I think, on day 2 or day 3, where you can tell it things like you must open up an issue in order to do any work. You must create a PR on a new branch. Branch must be named this. You must run all the tests. And the last 3 quote unquote sprints we've done, it's ignored all those rules multiple times. So I'm like, what do we need to do this? And it almost seems, and I know this is not true, but it almost seems like they're purposely making mistakes so that they can burn through tokens. Like, oh, I have to redo my work because I messed it up the first time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's it. Yeah, it's yeah. I'm getting. I was using Squad over the weekend for some other stuff, and the thing that I found that the most annoying is when you run out of agents that can work on a rejected issue. So
Oh
you'll
yeah,
have like someone will work on it and then have someone else check it and they reject it. So that means that those and then the one that rejected it can't either isn't authorized to work on it. So it goes to your lead, to in this case Ripley, the
yeah.
architect, and then they do it and then it gets rejected again. So I had a few issues where no one could work on an issue because it had been rejected, and so no one
Well, in
it had
theory,
been
you can tell it to not do that for this
I
particular
know
agent.
you can turn that off, but so basically what it had to do, it had to whole so I also was doing sprints. So
Hmm.
it basically pushed that item out of that sprint so we could close the sprint,
Hmm.
and then it created a new issue in the next sprint that referenced that
Hold on.
rejected
So
that
you
old
sort of
one.
cheated behind the scenes by creating a
It
new issue and allowed it to work on that new issue.
exactly. So it behaved very much like a normal team would to try to get around uh,
Yeah,
constraints that
yeah,
are hard coded, or constraints that have hard walls
yeah.
or hard
Well, the good thing
guardrails.
about that is a user set
Yeah,
directive. It's in the
yeah,
team decisions or the squad decisions where you can override it or even override it for short term,
yeah,
especially if you run out, if you don't have a big quote unquote team.
yeah,
The other thing you can always try to do, especially if a lot of them are messing it up, is change the model for that particular instance. With this new version of Copilot, there's now an auto mode, which I think is on by default, and that
okay,
will choose the best model based on the work or the best model in quote unquote its opinion.
hmm.
But I noticed with one of the last version or two that the agents and slash GitHub Copilot are actually doing that. Like when I ask my architect Neo to do something from an architect standpoint, like plan this out or map this out, it switches the model to a different Claude Code model versus the normal quote unquote economy one or the
Yeah,
basic one that
yeah,
all the other agents do, which is
yep,
good, assuming that that one's best. But as they start learning each other, quote unquote, they will, be able to adapt like that.
yep. Okay, so we have. I'm just going to move this over. So I brought up the GitHub issue page for or tab for baseball history, so we can see that we have 13 issues, open squad work already queued. We can see everyone has some work. Uh, Dallas has quite a bit. So current focus file still says initial setup, so no one's actively moving on a fresh session task yet.
Yep. Which is
So
where
what
we
should?
left it. We
Yeah,
basically built
yeah,
it out and assigned the work,
yeah.
but
Yep,
didn't give it to anyone.
yep. So should I ask Ripley to build out sprints? Because so a lot of times,
I would do that because what ends up happening, and I don't know, I didn't look at the issues in here. A lot of times there are dependencies on them.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
task 14 requires task 13, which requires
exactly.
task 11. So what I generally do is, do you have any milestones or anything set up? How are you planning on doing quote unquote sprints? There's two ways that it can be
So
done.
yeah, so I always use milestones with this. So let's ask Ripley. So
Well, actually,
Ripley,
you can just ask the team.
oh,
Ripley, it
okay.
might assign it to Ripley, but the scribe can do a lot of that. Saying
So
can
team, can
set a directive
you?
first, saying that we're going to use sprints, and for sprints, I want them tracked
Okay,
as milestones. Because sometimes it'll default to using labels, and then you'll get
okay.
like my last project, I got a mixture of labels and milestones. So I told it to convert all the labels to milestones now. And then before you even hit enter, 'cause you can give it multiple things at once, I would like you to set up the next whatever 10 milestones to prepare for the work.
I don't know
And
if we
then
need 10, but
what?
I don't know if we need 10 milestones. I mean, we only have 13 issues.
Well, you're going to add more work and more work over time. So
Yeah, that's true. I kind of, yeah, uh,
you can
okay.
tell it to just set
Yeah,
up, one or two.
yeah, I'll have it. I would like you to set up 10 milestones for sprints
And then,
and assign uh, the current 13 issues to, how should we phrase it? To,
I would just say I would like to set up 10 milestones for sprints and then get rid of the unassigned current 13 issues. And then Neo, sorry, Ripley, can you break down the work into sprints based on dependencies? And then it will figure out, because it might be able to do like three or
yeah,
four of them in one sprint. Or,
yeah, that's what I was going to do. Can you break down the work into sprints? Uh, use the least amount of milestones for the work. Okay.
that should be good. And the scribe will start doing that, figuring out someone probably, I'm guessing Lambert is the DevOps person or Ash. It'll
So
assign
then
them.
I always do tasks, but sometimes it
It
doesn't.
takes a minute for it to do it. So the tasks
Yeah.
are only when it's spawned off work outside while it's figuring stuff out. It won't show it
Gotcha.
as a task.
So do you want exactly 10 sprints created, or should Ripley use fewer if the backlog fits cleanly into less? Let's use fewer.
Yeah.
That's good. So
Yeah,
that
it's
was a
probably
good
taking
tip.
both directives together and thinking you want to build 10
Yeah.
sprints instead of just templating them because it was
Yeah.
all in one prompt.
Yeah. So Ripley's breaking it down and sprint planning and creating the milestones. So
You get a very colorful resharper sidebar. What
I
extension are you using that
use
does that?
I use the extra there's some
Extra
plugins
icon.
called, yeah, there's two.
Let's see it
There's,
while that's working because I'm curious. Mine is just the blah
oh, yeah,
one.
there,
So do
if
the
you look up
settings.
icons in
Is it extra
plugin,
icons?
yeah, yep. Yeah, so I can open this. So let's go to settings, and then we'll go to plugins. And yeah, those plugins are, so extra. I actually, they are paid. So there's one called
Yeah.
Extra Icons. I did pay for the lifetime. It was like $25, and then another one is Extra Tool Window colorful icons. So between those two, it gives you a lot of the pretty icons that even show
Nice.
up over here. So yeah,
Yeah, I got
yeah.
used to the boring drab icons.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I've been using those for years.
Yeah, I
So
didn't know that. I knew extra icons existed, but I thought that was just for files. But I see the separate extra tool window one. I'll
no,
have to
it's
look
for
at that.
everything. So even for the I think it's for many things.
Yeah, I think I
Uh,
remember the
so I like the little
author
rockets.
reaching
The
out to
little
me.
rockets. Yeah. Oh, did the author reach out to you?
Yeah, when I did a post about JetBrains plugins that I have on my machine. I update it like every, I don't know, 3 to 6 months. I update the blog post based on what I have, and the
Mm-hmm.
author reached out to me saying, "How come you're not using mine?"
Hmm. Well, yeah. The other ones, while this is still going on, I can show the icons, the plugins that I use a lot. So, Ignore. I like Ignore a lot. .NET Core. I think I got .NET Core user secrets
You
from
don't need
you.
that one anymore.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
No, it's
Well, I can
built
get
into the
rid of it.
product. I use that
Avalonia.
too. I turned it off.
Yeah, I've done some Avalonia work. I don't know why this that was disabled, but Avalonia. So let's see.
What's also log viewer?
That is. I don't. Oh, you can uh, take a look at.
Oh,
Oh, I
yeah.
can't.
There's an open telemetry plugin that I use that kind of shows a lot of that now.
I probably have that one. So that one I like. Been trying out the Claude, this CC GUI. It sets up Claude and the on the
Nice.
in its own uh,
You
tool
can actually do
window.
that now. Well, not in your own window, but the JetBrains AI assistant allows you to just select Claude and those right
You know
there.
what?
So,
I don't run AI assistant.
oh,
I have taken it between Junie, Copilot, and then just doing Claude down in Claude CLI down in a terminal. I don't. Plus, it's the AI assistant. I was using it a little bit, and I ran out of tokens, and it won't let me do any more work
oh,
with it.
oh.
So,
My point was not to use the AI assistant. You can, if you have the AI assistant plugin, by
yeah.
default, it'll use the JetBrains one, but you can actually select
Oh,
which of the ones you want. So you can say use
okay.
the Copilot, use Claude, and all that. So you can put them
Gotcha.
all in one
Oh,
window
gotcha.
instead of
Gotcha.
having 15
Okay.
windows.
Yeah. The other one I like is Indent Window or Indent Rainbow.
Yeah, I don't think you
Uh,
need that one anymore either. The
oh, is that already?
It's
Did
built
they
in now
build
to
that
the
in?
product.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to think. I do have Open Telemetry.
Yeah, I
Other than
used to
that,
have my own
Stream
log
Deck.
viewer then. Oh,
I
look at
do
that.
have. I have a Stream Deck, so I use
What does it
that
allow you to do?
sometimes.
Because I have the Stream Deck too.
It allows you to do a lot of the common, like if you want to start, like kick off something, it'll simulate like a F5,
Oh,
and it does a lot of, like, you can assign IntelliJ commands to the
yeah, but what do you need a
thing.
plugin for that too?
You,
Does it
you,
act as the bridge between? Because I'm sure that you
so
can do
if
that with just the app.
yeah, you can just do it with the app if you want. Let me see.
I'm only asking because I've never used it. I'm actually going to look up that plugin now.
Yeah, so you can enable it. You'll
But why don't
have
we go
to, and
back to the
then
other thing? Maybe we could do another stream on our writer setup that we
yeah,
can
that
talk.
would be kind of cool. Yeah, so you have to enable the IDE that you want to have the Stream Deck plugins have access. So you enable it over in your IDE, then in the Stream Deck app,
Ah,
you can then assign commands over there. And to be honest, I have like uh, start start dat like a like start dev configuration,
mhm.
skip over, backup,
Yeah, mine might be good for like
continue,
doing some of the
pause,
presentation
stop.
stuff.
So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But I also have like for other things, I'll have like on one of the buttons it shows me how much RAM is being used
Yeah.
on my thing, and the temperature outside and stuff like that. So to be honest, I don't use the Stream Deck a huge amount. So I should kind of get it set up for doing stuff like what we're doing right now, so I can like pop up things up on the
Yep.
screen and stuff like that.
I mean,
So
that's what it's meant for. I mean,
it,
lately, for
yes,
me, it's just a clock. I have 4 different time zones listed on mine, and then
yeah,
volume controls and a sleep button. So I don't have to type sleep on the computer. I just press a button now.
yeah, yep, yep.
Okay.
So
I think we got
cool.
an
Well,
idea for another stream.
yeah, we could
Walk
talk
through our
about
writer sessions.
developer, kind of how we set our computers up or set up our IDEs, stuff like
Yeah.
that. So, but yeah, it's still going, creating
Wow.
milestones. Let me see if
Taking a
it's
while. It shouldn't take that long to just create the milestones.
well, we have five. So, okay, now we have 5 sprints, 5 milestones, covering. Let's see, they haven't
Well, you can
assigned.
count them. It's right there. They list the issues on your terminal window.
Hmm.
If you go to your terminal, it lists all the issues in each sprint.
Oh yeah, you're right. So you're right. I just yep.
So 4 in the
So
first,
so
2 in the second, third, fourth, and fifth.
yep.
Nice.
So this will be a good thing. So let's just start. Um, how should we start, Joe?
I would just say
Should we?
let's start sprint one and then
Yeah.
have it
Okay.
go at it.
I didn't know if you had any wizardry kind of, hey, do this before we do sprint one, or you have
I don't do
anything
anything
like that.
else. I mean, it's
Okay.
already planned out and it's already
Yep.
triaged, so there's nothing left for them,
So,
nothing left for the agents to do outside of just do the work.
team, let's start sprint one. Let's do it. So,
And then in a week to 10 days, it'll be done.
yeah, yeah. Hey, I was going
Oh,
to
we
ask
don't
you.
have any rules set up in this, right? So I wonder if it's going to start creating its own branches. Actually, no, we told it to do
No,
all this work in this one branch.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cool.
So, I was going to ask, did you get your acceptance emails from KCDC?
I got one. Yeah, I'm
You got
doing
one, good.
one talk on
Aspire,
Aspire.
right? Cool,
Yeah,
cool. I
so
did
far.
not get I did not get selected, so But
They
I
didn't
was
get
also,
selected in the first round. They do two
yeah,
rounds
I
there.
know. I submitted a lot of my Simplicity First talks,
Mhm.
and those might not really resonate. So,
So I've submitted to KCDC every year for the last, I don't know, 6 or 7 years. And I think this will be this will be my third time going. I
yeah,
was talks were turned down 4 out of the 7 times.
yeah.
And one of the things I've learned about it is it's not
Oh,
necessarily the speakers or even the
no,
talks. Every year they do they break up tracks and
yeah,
they put stuff into certain tracks and there's a
yep,
certain theme. So the talks that you or other people, because there are some other people that normally get accepted there that haven't been accepted yet this year. So it depends.
well, yeah, and I always tell people when they submit to conferences, if you do get rejected, they're not rejecting you, they're rejecting your talk. So,
Well, not necessarily even rejecting the talk. It might not be a fit for what they're
yeah, it might not be a
trying to do.
fit.
I
So,
mean, there are
so
some times where there are speakers that they just can't do for whatever reason. The
yeah,
speaker is just not
yeah. So
good
I
for
was,
their
hey,
group
I
or
didn't want to interrupt you, but I do want to show that, just show people that if they take a look at the background subagents, you'll see uh, that they are broken up. And if you go into slash tasks, which brings up this background task, I like having this kind of on while the actual work is being done, because then I can see how long things have been taking, who's working on what, stuff like that. So, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
no,
you,
it's fine.
Joe. I
You
just
can
wanted to show
also,
that.
if you hit the escape and get out of that for just for
Or
a
you can
second.
see detail. You can actually, this will go into like more detail
Huh, I
on
didn't know that.
a sub agent. So yeah, so you could like I could scan down and go, well, what's
Oh,
Parker? I want to see what Parker's doing. So you can
nice.
see his recent activity. You can see the prompt that is being used for him. The first 10 lines. You can kill, but you can also go back. Oh, oh, good.
I just hit escape and it brings you back.
So yeah,
Yeah, you'll see in the bottom, like it says for background tasks, which means it's actually running. Another thing you can do is, I think I talked about this in the first or second session, that there are four, or there are two built-in agents. There's the
yeah,
scribe, which
yep,
basically generally writes notes, and then there's the task monitor, whose name is Ralph. So you can always ask Ralph what the status is, and then he basically goes and queries those four background tasks and will tell you what's happening.
mm-hmm. I just like showing tasks. It
Hmm.
gives me kind of a, and as these get done, they will that little blinking circle will stop, and they'll so you can see kind of when work is getting done and stuff like that also. So, but yeah, man, this goes by quick, doesn't it? It's already quarter to the next hour.
Well, we went on two different tangents this time
I
while the
know,
work was
I
doing,
know,
but
I
that's
know.
the one of the good things and bad things about these agents. They don't, they're running in the background, and they were just like engineers. You assign them the work and they're
Yep,
going to go off and do it. In the meantime,
yep,
there's not much you can do with this because you're limited, at least
yeah,
with most of the models,
yeah,
4 agents at once. So
yeah,
can't really do anything else. This is where I would typically go back and catch up on something else, or maybe create new issues. that I want or something else
Well,
in the repo.
actually, this is where I grab my. Usually, I grab my my Kindle and read until
Yeah.
the work gets done. So, or I watch a YouTube video. So, but yeah. So, any the I'm trying to think any other things that we could stream. We could look at. We could do Aspire. We could do some Aspire things. We could do.
Yeah, I mean, we could aspirify this app if you
Yeah,
want, or have
yeah.
an agent
I,
do it.
I if build's coming up, if we're if you and I are still unemployed during build, we could do mystery science theater 3000. Did you ever watch that show
Yeah, watch it
where
once.
they just had the things and they would just make comments during the movie? We could do that. We could do a live stream where we just talk about what we're seeing on build
Yeah,
on the.
it's a good idea.
I think we should do that. So
The
oh, there we go. Ash is done. So Ash got his some. Ash is done. So he's taken out. Um we're mainly waiting on Lambert's issue number 5 regression suite.
So Lambert is
So
your tester.
yeah, yeah. But oh, I was gonna say something. Shoot, what was I gonna say? Oh, it was something about build. Oh, yeah. So Joe, you gotta. I have about halfway through my MVP application, so I gotta get that done by May 5th. But yeah,
I did mine the
yeah.
first day because I fill it out. I fill out all the stuff for the MVP app every month.
Oh,
I
okay.
go
Well,
through and I make
you're
sure
much
that
better than me.
my
So
MVP site
yeah.
content is up to date. So then it's just really answering whatever questions
Yeah.
they have. I have a task that reminds me in the Microsoft to do once a month to
Oh,
go through and
that's cool.
make sure I update my content.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've got most of it written down. I just need to
Yeah.
add it to the put in. I'll probably end up with I don't know about. Did you end up with all 24, or did you end up
No,
with?
I don't think I did.
Okay.
I mean, I only spoke at 7 or 8 events last year.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I don't put in entries for the blog because you just give them the blog content and the YouTube, and
Yeah.
it will go and discover that. So
Yeah,
you don't
I
need to
I
enter those.
may do the series that I did. So do like, hey, I did this blog series and this blog
Yep.
series, and so I was thinking about doing that. So, and then I'm excited. I'm supposed to get my flight details this week for to go to Poland in a month.
Oh, for update conference.
Yeah, for update Krakow. So.
Nice.
Yeah, so I think I'm flying out on Monday night, getting there Tuesday, and then flying home on Sunday. And that's Memorial Day weekend. So my wife's not particularly happy,
Mm.
but the kid, two out of three kids will be home that weekend. So I'm low priority. If there's kids around, then she'll be happy. But if they ignore her and go off with their friends, then then and I'm not around, there might be
Nice.
some because she asked me, she's like, why can't you come home on Saturday? I go, because Saturday is when they do like a day with the speakers and take them around and sightsee and stuff like that. So
Nice.
so you know that. Didn't they do that at
I
Krakow last year?
I don't remember if they did, and if they did, I would probably already had my. Oh, yes, they did, but I couldn't because I left from Krakow straight to Lebanon for
Oh,
work.
that's right.
So I
That's
missed
right.
this Saturday, but I went there a couple days early and did a lot of the sightseeing
Yeah. Yeah.
myself
You'll have to
and
tell
did
me what
some video.
to like good restaurant if you found any good restaurants or good bars. So
Well, where the hotel is, it's
yeah.
kind of like in a commercial area, so there's
Okay.
not a lot there. There are two grocery stores like in that little.
How far away is the old town from
Oh, it's a good
you
25
got
minute
oh
Uber
okay. So you
ride.
got a Uber in? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's you got to Uber there and back.
Yeah. Well I I I don't know if
There
I
is a
ever told
bus
you.
and there is a bus system there, if I remember correctly, but it was like an hour to do, and you still had to walk a good
Oh,
15 minutes, I think, to get to the bus stop. It was like 8 or 9 blocks away from the area, but that was last year, so
okay. So one thing, did I ever tell you when I was at and we're still waiting on work.
I mean, this work could literally take 30
It could
minutes, but
take
we
a
probably
while. So
shouldn't wait
we're
for it.
just gonna chit chat for another 10 minutes and wrap things up. So I was talking to and I cannot remember his name, the guy from Poland that was the ambassador for Krakow.
Yuri?
Uh, hmm?
Was it Yuri? Oh no, the ambassador. I don't remember him.
Yeah.
I didn't meet him when I was there.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, he's a good guy. So there were two other Polish speakers there, and oh, Parker just got done. So I think the tester. So the work should probably get done a little quicker. So there were three Polish speakers at the conference in Prague, and I was talking to him, and I'm like, hey, like this may sound strange, but I belong to a Polish hall at home. And they're like, they looked at me strange, like Polish hall. And
Yeah, what is that?
so when Polish immigrants came to America, they would build new Catholic parishes. So they would build new Catholic church, and to go along with it, they needed like a kind of think of it as a hall that they they needed stuff for like wedding receptions and baby showers and
They need an
other
event space.
yeah event space. And so they would build this event space, and many of them, probably all of them, also built a bar inside inside the hall that members could join and hang out at the hall at the bar. So I
A
belong
lot
to
of the a lot of countries
yeah Lithuania. So the
have
two
some. We
big
have some for Italians. Have a lot of them, especially
yeah
in New York. There are a
Italians
lot of those.
have them for their churches. It goes along with Catholic churches. So I belong to one called Kukushka, and they told me I didn't pronounce it right, which I probably don't, but it's Kukushka Hall. Kukushka was a general back in the Revolutionary War that helped the United States win its independence. And so I showed him pictures because there's pictures on the website, and they saw that we have a bunch of merchandise that you can buy, like Polish merchandise. And so they're like, we want t-shirts. So I've been buying like t-shirts to take to them, and they're like
Nice.
party all night. I'm Polish and stuff, and they're like, no, we want like stuff with like Grand Rapids, Michigan, like where
Yeah.
where the hall's at. So I've got probably six or seven, maybe 10 t-shirts so far, and so I'm gonna take t-shirts and give them out to people
That's awesome.
over there. So I'll probably give away a couple. I've got two talks this year. I've got one on HTTP 3 and quick. which Quick, it's QUIC. Quick is the replacement for TCP. So at some point in the future, we will not have TCP IP anymore. We will have Quick IP. So, I'm doing a talk on how to use HTTP 3 within your network if you're building out network programming for your application. And then the other one, I've got a Entity Framework Core talk for like improving performance or something, or 10 things people don't know about Entity Framework Core. So
That's awesome. Yeah, whenever I go to India, which I didn't go last year, but every time before that, I always get emails or WhatsApp messages. Hey, can you bring me this? I had
yeah,
one of the guys I know that's super popular there and in the States. He's big in Angular. He gave me a shopping list. It's like, Joe, can you pick me up this, and this?
oh,
So,
so yeah. Usually when I go over, I take 2 bottles of bourbon with me, of like good bourbon that you can't find in Europe, and
yeah,
I usually give 1 bottle to someone, and then drink 1 bottle with people. So
nice.
yeah, yeah. So there is 2 people watching. So there is someone watching this other than me. So
Nice.
if you are watching, please say hi. We would love to know who you are. So yeah, yeah, and we appreciate you watching us live. So, but yeah, yeah, and I haven't heard back from any other conferences. I need to submit some more. Oh, it's Lori. Hi, Lori. Lori McKinney. So we appreciate you, Lori. So, but yeah, I need to submit some more talks to conferences. But
Cool. Yeah, I think I have one that's on my list for the fall that just opened up. I think it's Techorama.
oh,
Just
Techorama,
opened up.
Belgium. I think
Yeah,
it's Techorama, Belgium. I submit to that and I never get picked, even
yeah.
though
It's a lot
I know
smaller event, so
it is. It is. And with money and sponsorship being
yeah.
scarce, it's more expensive to bring over us Americans over there. And I don't blame them if they don't want Americans over there. So
Especially nowadays.
especially nowadays. Okay, so it looks like we're done. So Scribe is now logging.
So,
Everything is done. So
so
all tests, 294 tests uh, that were set up previously. So in the original application, I had a bunch of tests. So those are all passing. So if no one realizes what we're doing, basically I'm just replacing a lot of the web components, the web GUI parts with my own specialized web component kit. So this will probably take a little bit. Scribe usually takes a little bit
I just
to
got to
kick
write out
out.
everything that happened and all the
Exactly.
decisions and
Yeah.
everything.
So
You can at least look at the change, the pending changes in Git and see how many files it updated.
yeah, We can do that.
So you can click on a
let's-
right and rider. You didn't even have to get out.
I know, this is how I do it. So baseball history, here's all the changes. Sorry, I can't make this a little bigger, but so it's starting to go through a lot of the basic stuff. So yeah.
Cool.
So that is okay. So we are now done with sprint one. Uh, what I like to do too is I like to say, team, please go out and, oh, guess I didn't go in there. Team, please go out to GitHub and close all issues and milestones that have been completed.
Do you want to really do that because the code hasn't been published yet?
Oh, it hasn't been pushed. You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
you can
maybe
close the
we'll
milestones.
we'll pick up after we commit. So
Yeah. Well, it should automatically do that one because they would have tagged all those issues once you create a PR, unless you want them to create a PR with that. But
yeah, I could say that. Let's do that. Let's do that. I'll say, team, please commit all work and create a new PR for
are
sprint.
you going to publish that PR? And the
Publish
reason
it?
why I asked because with the changes that made, it could potentially break your site. So you might not.
Well, I'm just creating a PR. I'm not oh,
As long as you don't merge the
I haven't
PR,
I haven't got a you're right. You know what?
I wouldn't even do that.
I
Just leave
well,
it the
no,
way it is.
I'm still on the branch. So this won't actually this is a branch for the migration to HTMX Razor.
Yeah, as long as
So
you don't merge that into
yeah, in the main.
you're good. But
Yeah. So
creating
let's
a
do
PR
that.
really has no effect right now.
I know, but if I like to do a PR per sprint. So
Okay.
so I'm just going to say, team, please commit all work and create a new PR for sprint one. Okay.
Okay.
That
So for tomorrow, Woody and I will figure out what we're gonna chat about.
yeah. We may move on to something else. Maybe we'll talk about Aspire because I do want to see they've had some updates in Aspire, haven't they? In
Yeah, I
the
think it's
last
up
couple
to
months.
13.2.2 now.
Yeah.
The biggest updates in this is now that there's a MCP server which you can
Hey,
connect.
don't tell them. Don't tell them. Let's leave them hanging till tomorrow. You're giving up all the why they should come tomorrow.
Oh, let's call it tease, but we'll talk about some of the Aspire updates tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah. We'll talk about Aspire tomorrow. Awesome. We'll be back at 2 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, which is what, noon, or is it 11 Arizona
It's
time?
11 for me.
11. Yeah. You're in that weird Arizona bubble where,
We're in what makes sense not to have daylight savings time because it's
yeah,
almost
I know.
an hour.
I know. You don't have Arizona doesn't have daylight savings. So sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3 hour difference. So,
Yeah,
cool.
maybe tomorrow I'll tell us a fun story about that.
Okay. Okay. See you, everyone.
Yeah, run. Bye.
Okay.